Have you ever just drifted into sleep, only to wake up again and again because your bladder called you back to the bathroom? For many older adults in America, this frustrating cycle of nighttime urination feels endless. It robs you of deep rest, leaves you feeling weak in the morning, and sometimes even makes you fearful of walking in the dark at night. I want you to know you are not alone in this. As a doctor who has worked with seniors for many years, I've seen how much this problem steals from life. But I've also seen something beautiful. Small, natural changes can give you back control. And one of the simplest, yet most powerful, lies in how you drink water. In Japan, where people often live long and healthy lives, elders have a quiet wisdom about drinking water. They don't just drink when they feel thirsty, they drink in harmony with the body's rhythm. This gentle balance is one of the reasons many Japanese seniors sleep peacefully through the night. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where are you watching this from? And what time is it for you right now? Please let me know in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them. Understanding nocturia. When we talk about nighttime urination, or what doctors call nocturia, it's more than just a small inconvenience. For many seniors, it can feel like a thief in the night, stealing rest, draining energy, and leaving a shadow over the next day. To truly address it, we first need to understand what is happening inside the body. Nocturia simply means waking up from sleep one or more times during the night to urinate. For younger people, this may happen occasionally, often after drinking too much water late in the evening. But for older adults, it can become a nightly struggle. Studies show that more than half of people over the age of 65 experience frequent nighttime urination, and for some, it happens 3 or 4 times each night. This constant waking disrupts the body's natural rhythm of sleep. Instead of entering long cycles of deep rest, where the brain repairs itself and the body recovers, sleep becomes shallow and fragmented. Over time, this affects memory, mood, heart health, and even balance. In fact, many falls among seniors happen at night, on the way to the bathroom. What may seem like a small problem can quietly create a chain of risks. Why does this happen more often as we age? The answer lies in both the bladder and the brain. The bladder, like every muscle, becomes less elastic with time. It holds less fluid and sends stronger signals to the brain that it needs to be emptied. At the same time, the hormone that helps the body conserve water during the night, called vasopressin, naturally decreases with age. The result is simple but frustrating. The bladder fills faster, and you wake up more often. But nocturia is not just about the body's biology. It also reflects lifestyle, diet, and even emotions. Drinking more fluids in the evening, especially caffeinated or alcoholic drinks, can overstimulate the bladder. A salty dinner can cause the body to hold on to water, only to release it during the night. Stress and anxiety can make sleep lighter, so even the smallest signal from the bladder can be enough to wake you. Understanding nocturia means recognizing it as both a medical issue and a quality of life issue. It is not something to be brushed aside as a normal part of aging. While it is common, it is not unchangeable. Seniors in Japan often show us a different picture. Many maintain healthier sleep patterns well into their 80s and 90s. One reason is their deep cultural awareness of balance. They spread hydration evenly throughout the day, they eat lighter dinners, and they respect the body's rhythms instead of fighting them. So, when we speak about nocturia, we are really speaking about more than just getting up at night. We are talking about energy, safety, independence, and the joy of waking up refreshed. And while it may feel discouraging if you are experiencing it now, there is hope. By understanding the causes and making small adjustments, it is possible to reclaim restful nights. Causes of nighttime urination in seniors. If you find yourself waking up again and again to use the bathroom, you may wonder why it happens more often now than when you were younger. The answer is not just one thing. It's usually a mix of natural aging, lifestyle choices, and sometimes the medicines you take. Understanding these causes is the first step toward change. One of the main reasons is how the bladder itself changes with age. Over the years, the bladder muscle loses elasticity and becomes more sensitive. It simply cannot stretch the way it once did. That means it feels full sooner, even if there is not much urine inside. The signal to wake up and go to the bathroom comes earlier, interrupting sleep. Another major factor is hormone decline. Normally, the brain releases a hormone called vasopressin at night. This hormone tells the kidneys to slow urine production so you can sleep for long hours without waking. But as people grow older, the body produces less vasopressin. Without that nighttime signal, the kidneys keep working as if it were daytime, filling the bladder again and again. Medications can add to the problem. Many seniors take diuretics, also known as water pills, for high blood pressure or heart conditions. These medicines help remove extra fluid from the body, but if taken too late in the day, they almost guarantee extra bathroom trips at night. Even other common drugs, like those for sleep or mood, can indirectly affect bladder function. Lifestyle choices play a role as well. Drinking large amounts of fluid in the evening, especially caffeinated or alcoholic drinks, makes the bladder more active. A salty dinner can also trigger nocturia. When you eat more salt, your body holds onto water. Later, during the night, that water is released into the bladder. Finally, sleep quality and emotions matter too. Stress, worry, or even just light sleep can make you more sensitive to the bladder's signals. For someone who sleeps deeply, a half-full bladder may not wake them. But for someone with lighter sleep, even a small urge is enough to break rest. In Japan, elders reduce these triggers with habits passed down for generations. They drink steadily during the day, eat earlier and lighter dinners, and avoid flooding the body with fluids before bedtime. These quiet routines, combined with cultural awareness of balance, help protect their sleep. The message is clear. Nocturia may be common, but it is not untouchable. By understanding the causes, you gain power, and once you know what drives the problem, you can begin to take steps toward nights of deeper, calmer rest. The Japanese secret of drinking water the right way. In every culture, water is seen as life. Yet in Japan, there is a unique respect for how water should be consumed. It is not about drinking large amounts at once, but rather about drinking in rhythm with the body's natural flow. For seniors who struggle with nighttime urination, this philosophy can be a quiet miracle. One of the most striking habits among Japanese elders is how they begin their day. Upon waking, before breakfast, or even tea, many drink a small glass of warm water. This practice, rooted in both tradition and modern health knowledge, gently awakens the body. The warm water stimulates digestion, supports circulation, and helps the kidneys clear out overnight waste. Most importantly, it sets hydration in motion early in the day, reducing the need to catch up in the evening. Another secret lies in how they spread their water intake. Instead of waiting until thirst becomes strong, Japanese seniors often sip water in small amounts throughout the day. They may carry a small thermos or cup, drinking just a few sips at a time. This steady rhythm prevents dehydration, while also avoiding the sudden overload that comes from drinking too much at once. For the bladder, this makes an enormous difference. Rather than being forced to handle a flood of liquid late in the day, it receives a gentle stream of hydration, spread evenly from morning until afternoon. Dinner time in Japan also reflects this wisdom. Meals are often lighter, served earlier in the evening, and accompanied by miso soup. Though soup may sound like a problem for those worried about nocturia, Japanese miso soup is typically small in portion, low in salt, and served warm. This balance nourishes the body without causing fluid retention that lingers into the night. Compare this to a large, salty meal eaten late at night in the West, and the difference becomes clear. Perhaps one of the most practical lessons comes from the timing of evening drinks. In Japanese households, it is common to stop significant fluid intake 1 to 2 hours before bed. If someone feels thirsty, they may take only a sip or two of warm water, enough to soothe the mouth without filling the bladder. This habit allows the body to process fluids before sleep begins, giving the bladder time to empty fully before resting. Underlying all of these habits is a cultural idea known as shokuiku, or food and nutrition education. From childhood, Japanese people are taught not only what to eat and drink, but how and when. They learn to see meals and drinks as part of a larger cycle of balance. Elders continue to practice these lessons naturally, often without thinking about them as rules. This quiet education means that by the time they reach their 70s or 80s, many Japanese seniors already live in harmony with their body's hydration needs. Let me share the image of an elderly man I once met in Okinawa, where people live some of the longest lives in the world. He carried a small flask of tea, not to drink all at once, but to sip slowly as he walked. When asked why he never drank large glasses in the evening, he smiled and said, "The body is like a garden. Too much water at once drowns the roots, but steady water keeps it alive." His words hold wisdom that modern medicine now supports. Science confirms what tradition has long practiced. Drinking water in smaller amounts throughout the day helps regulate kidney function, supports steady blood pressure, and reduces the strain on the bladder at night. When hydration is balanced, the hormone system works more efficiently, and the body is less likely to produce large amounts of urine during sleep. For seniors in America who struggle with waking multiple times at night, adopting even 1 or 2 of these habits can be transformative. Start the morning with a warm glass of water. Carry a small bottle to take gentle sips instead of gulping large amounts. Make dinner lighter and allow your body an hour or 2 of calm before bed without heavy drinking. These changes may seem small, but they build a rhythm that aligns with both science and centuries of Japanese tradition. The secret, then, is not only in what you drink, but how and when. By following the quiet wisdom of Japanese elders, water shifts from being a cause of nighttime disturbance to becoming a source of balance, healing, and restful sleep. The science behind these water habits. The Japanese way of drinking water, slowly, steadily, and earlier in the day, may seem simple, but modern science explains why it works so well for older adults. Behind these habits are changes in hormones, the bladder, and the kidneys that all influence why nighttime urination becomes more common with age. One of the most important players is a hormone called vasopressin. This hormone tells the kidneys to slow urine production at night, allowing for longer, uninterrupted sleep. In younger people, vasopressin naturally rises in the evening, but with age, the nighttime surge weakens. The kidneys continue to make urine as if it were daytime, which quickly fills the bladder. When seniors shift most of their hydration to earlier hours, they work with this hormonal rhythm rather than against it. The bladder itself also changes over time. With age, it loses elasticity and becomes more sensitive. Think of a balloon that has stiffened. It feels full faster and sends stronger signals to the brain. Large amounts of water in the evening easily overwhelm this system, leading to more awakenings. In contrast, steady sipping throughout the day eases the burden and allows the bladder to remain calmer at night. Temperature plays a role too. Cold water, especially iced drinks, can stimulate the bladder and trigger urgency more quickly. Warm water relaxes the body, supporting circulation and digestion while being gentler on the bladder. This is one reason Japanese elders often favor room temperature or warm drinks, particularly in the evening. The kidneys also benefit from steady hydration. These vital organs filter waste and balance salt and water. When water comes in a sudden flood, the kidneys flush rapidly, producing excess urine at night. But when water arrives in small amounts throughout the day, the kidneys maintain balance without overworking, reducing the pressure on the bladder. Even circulation contributes to nighttime urination. During the day, fluid often pools in the legs due to gravity. When lying down at night, that fluid shifts back into the bloodstream, eventually filling the bladder. Active movement during the day and even simple leg elevation before bed can help the body process this fluid earlier, easing the nighttime load. In short, science shows that balance, not extremes, is the key. Hydrating steadily, choosing warm over cold, and adjusting timing allows the body's natural systems to work smoothly. What Japanese elders practice as cultural wisdom, modern medicine confirms as biological truth. Small changes in how and when you drink water can protect your nights, your energy, and your health. Common mistakes when drinking water at night. For many seniors, the way water is consumed in the evening can quietly shape how the night unfolds. While water itself is life-giving, certain habits around drinking can turn it into a reason for restless sleep. By recognizing common mistakes, it becomes easier to adjust and enjoy calmer, more restorative nights. One of the most frequent patterns I see is when people drink very little during the day, only to make up for it in the evening. The intention is good, but the effect is harsh. Instead of gently nourishing the body, this overload forces the bladder to work overtime right when it should be resting. Waking up multiple times is almost inevitable when large amounts of liquid are taken in right before bed. Caffeine is another quiet saboteur. A comforting cup of tea, coffee, or even soda in the late afternoon can linger far longer in the body than most realize. Caffeine stimulates urine production and irritates the bladder, making it harder to stay asleep without interruption. Alcohol acts in a similar way. It may help someone feel drowsy, but it interferes with deep sleep, while also increasing urine output. The result is lighter, more broken rest, and more trips to the bathroom. Even the temperature of water can play a role. In many Western homes, iced water is the evening norm. Yet cold water can cause the bladder to contract, triggering urgency sooner. In contrast, Japanese elders often sip warm or room temperature water at night, which soothes rather than stimulates the system. Another overlooked mistake happens with medication. Many seniors take their evening pills with a full glass of water, sometimes two. While it is important to swallow medicine safely, this habit can unintentionally fill the bladder right before bedtime. A smaller sip, combined with steady hydration earlier in the day, usually works better. Salt is also a hidden driver of nocturia. A salty meal causes the body to hold on to extra fluid. Hours later, often during the night, that fluid is released into the bladder, leading to multiple awakenings. This is why the Japanese habit of eating lighter, less salty dinners makes such a difference in their sleep. I recall one woman in her 70s who struggled with waking up 5 times a night. She proudly avoided coffee and alcohol, but still felt exhausted each morning. The real issue was her evening routine: 2 big glasses of water before bed to stay hydrated. Once she shifted those drinks to earlier in the day and limited herself to a few sips at night, her sleep transformed. Within weeks, she was sleeping almost straight through until morning. These mistakes are common because they come from a place of care, wanting to stay hydrated, nourished, and healthy. But by respecting the body's natural rhythm, the solution is often simple. Lighter meals, earlier hydration, fewer stimulants, and smaller sips in the evening can turn restless nights into peaceful ones. Evening habits that support a healthy bladder while drinking water in the right way is crucial. What you do in the hours before bed can also determine whether your night is peaceful or restless. By adopting a few gentle evening habits, you can reduce the strain on your bladder and give yourself the best chance for uninterrupted sleep. One helpful step is to eat dinner a little earlier and keep it lighter in both portion and salt. Heavy or salty meals cause the body to hold on to fluid, which later shifts to the bladder during the night. A simple bowl of rice with vegetables or a light soup like the Japanese enjoy not only nourishes but also prevents that late-night fluid surge. Another important habit is to visit the bathroom just before going to bed, even if the urge feels small. This clearing routine gives your bladder the best chance to stay calm through the night. Many Japanese elders practice this as naturally as brushing their teeth. It becomes part of the ritual of preparing for rest. Relaxation also plays a key role. Stress and tension can make the bladder more sensitive, so even a small signal may wake you. Gentle breathing exercises such as the Japanese hara breathing, slow breaths deep into the belly, help calm both mind and body. Some seniors also enjoy a few minutes of light stretching or quiet meditation before bed, which prepares the nervous system for deeper rest. Warmth is another ally. Keeping the legs and feet warm in the evening reduces fluid buildup and encourages circulation. Some older adults find that elevating their legs for a short time before bed helps excess fluid return to the bloodstream earlier, so less reaches the bladder during sleep. Finally, if thirst arises close to bedtime, choose only a sip or 2 of warm water instead of a full glass. This small comfort moistens the throat without overwhelming the bladder. Together, these simple practices, lighter dinners, a last bathroom visit, calming the body, and mindful warmth, work hand in hand with proper hydration. They reflect the quiet wisdom seen in Japanese households, where health is protected not by extremes, but by steady, thoughtful habits. Over time, these routines can make the difference between restless nights and peaceful, healing sleep. Sometimes, the most powerful lessons come not from research or theory, but from the quiet stories of people who have lived through the same struggles. I once met an elderly woman in Kyoto who was in her early 80s. For years, she had been waking up 3 or 4 times a night to use the bathroom. She looked tired, often worried about losing her balance as she walked in the dark, and admitted that her mornings felt heavy. For a long time, she believed this was simply a normal part of aging. But then, guided by her community health nurse, she began to change her daily rhythm. She started drinking a small glass of warm water each morning as soon as she woke up, then carried a small flask of tea to sip gently throughout the day. She moved her main hydration to earlier hours and kept her dinners lighter, finishing her last drink at least an hour before bed. At first, she did not expect much, yet within weeks her nights began to change. She went from waking up 4 times a night to only once. On some nights, she slept all the way through until morning. Her story is not unique. Many elders in Japan practice these habits naturally, without even thinking of them as remedies. For them, it is simply a way of life, listening to the body, keeping balance, and respecting the rhythm of day and night. And because of this, they often enjoy better rest well into their later years. For seniors in America, her story is a gentle reminder. Solutions do not always come from stronger medicine or complicated treatments. Sometimes it is the small, consistent changes that make the greatest difference. Shifting hydration earlier, choosing lighter meals, and creating calm in the evening are practices within everyone's reach. The woman in Kyoto once said to me, with a smile in her eyes, "I thought my nights were lost, but by listening to my body, I found them again." Her words carry a truth that can inspire anyone facing the frustrations of nighttime urination. With patience and gentle adjustments, peaceful sleep is possible again. Nighttime urination may feel like an unavoidable part of aging, but as we've seen, it doesn't have to define your nights. By learning from the wisdom of Japanese elders and combining it with modern medical understanding, you can take small, gentle steps that bring back peace and rest. Shifting water intake earlier in the day, choosing lighter evening meals, calming the body before bed, and treating hydration as a rhythm rather than a rush. All of these practices protect not only the bladder, but your overall health. The beauty of these changes is their simplicity. They don't require expensive treatments or complicated routines. Instead, they invite you to live in balance with your body, to listen closely to its signals, and to respect the natural flow of day and night. Many seniors in Japan have shown us that with steady habits, it is possible to sleep through the night well into advanced age. As you reflect on what we've shared today, remember that every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to deeper rest and brighter mornings. And one gentle reminder: health information shared here is not medical advice. Please consult your doctor for personalized guidance, and if you ever feel your health is at risk, seek medical help or call emergency services right away.